Hello and welcome back to the Dunning-Kruger Apple Knife Experience. This is the regrind, reprofiling, whatever of this Apple knife, which I showed yesterday. It used to be a cheese knife long ago, and yeah, I made this little parer. Yesterday I decided to regrind, and one of the things I did was burn the steel down here because I went to my arbor wheel and started cutting because to recut this whole profile here, to remove all that steel. That's the way, on the wheel, right? And I did that, and I didn't burn it because you just go in fast, you just go in quick, keep it moving, and you don't burn the steel. And then whatever's left, that stressed part there, is going to get ground out anyway when I re-apex. So the wheel worked really well for that, but I decided to start my plunge grinds down here on the wheel, and then in a moment I saw that discoloration, and it was, it was like, how can I say? It was like as if I burned this whole section of bevel there, right? If you saw that was all discolored. Maybe not that much, like that, something like that, yeah, is what you could see, a visible discoloration. Of course, that grinds straight out, but the steel that was left, I mean, it just crumbled. It's amazing the difference between the burned steel and what's next to it, It just crumbles away, and then whatever's not burned is left standing proud. Anyway, it was a pretty hastily and ill-considered kind of, same old thing, right? Where I went a little deep here and there with the wheel, and so that'll take ages to hand grind out, and I couldn't be bothered to do all that, and that would have left the steel so thin, right? Getting all of this flattened out. But, the shape is there. And then also it just wasn't getting sharp. It's not really still that sharp. It's, the sliced paper, no real trouble. I don't know if it'll do the squiggly thing. You can see even there, it's a little so-so. And so it won't do the paper towel cut top to bottom, but it seemed to be, it was slicing before. Well, who knows? It may have deteriorated overnight. Should have left it under a pyramid. But there is apple honing. I have discovered and have video documentary evidence of the gentle honing effect of actually paring apples. So why don't we pare some apples, and we can do another cut test and see what that did to the apex. Because it looks tidy, it feels tidy, but at the microscopic level, I guess it just isn't. I guess it's just still a frayed mess. Frayed. Yeah, that's a you can see different scratch patterns there pertaining to the roughly convex nature of the matter. These are store-bought apples. How do I want to do this? Let me try peeling this one. Of course, that was roughly done, but we know that the majority of nutrients in the apple are just beneath the peel. Same thing with a potato. So this is the value of a good keen paring knife and good technique. So you want to remove the entirety of the peel without going too deep beneath. Generally, I'm probably a little more lazy than I'm being now. So, yeah, the ergos I slimmed up the handle, swayed it back a little more. I didn't take more length off the end as I had thought to do, because for one thing, I made the blade longer and the handle shorter, and so the ratio kind of improved somewhat. And then I was thinking, I always like the way that even if that you can get like a full saber grip on this thing, even if there's not a lot of use for a full saber grip when you're pruning. But I mean, excuse me, when you it looks like a pruner, right? When you're pruning, there isn't either. But when you're paring, the blade is a little less kicked forward than it was before overall, but that's kind of compensated by having a little more sway back in the handle. It brings that forward again, hollowing out here. Yeah, the hand sits deeper in the... Sorry. Right. Let's get back to work. Apples. Now, you may not know this trick, so let's cover this right now, okay? 1. Wow, disappeared. Where'd that cut go? Here. 2, okay? 1, 2, 3. 4. Where are we? Yeah, 5. 6. See that? Not interesting. Now, I think that these nasty apples, well, I shouldn't say nasty, bruised apples, small, hard, I think these are good honing apples. Let's see if there's anything worth conserving in this one here. Whether, should I say. I figure that I can make sauce with these. I don't need to peel them. Or even maybe really core them, because can't you just like cook it all up and then strain it later somehow? Probably don't need to worry too much about this kind of thing, but that's the kind of thing this knife is good for. See what I mean? You can really pair. Coffee break. I feel like I should be eating apples, but apples and coffee, I don't know, Let's let this oxidize while we watch. I'm gonna do one more. One more. It's got a bit of firmness to it for that gentle and consistent apple honing effect. Look, a dog hair. I did rinse them. Yeah, whatever. We've probably gone on long enough, haven't we? Let's try this again. Sometimes I think maybe I should put some diamond paste in these calluses here. You know, rub it in the morning and all jokes aside, that's actually a brilliant idea. Yeah, anyway, you know, a few hundred apples in, we'll be getting good, you know. Just keep cutting, honing lightly, thinning out behind the edge. You know, eventually I can polish out some of this mess, and you know, I'm quite pleased. I think maybe even the fact that I burned that steel there, and so we've gone for a really aggressive recurve, reprofile. Yeah. Thanks for watching.